Dennis Ellsworth is a well-known PEI singer-songwriter, musician, and producer who allowed me to play piano and sing in his band for a few years. We talked about how his mom was one of his first champions, how to be ready when inspiration hits, and the potential downfall of social media.
Art, I want you. Art, you make it pretty hard not to. And my heart is trying hard here to follow you, but I can't always tell if I ought to.
Dennis, thank you for taking the time.
My pleasure.
Glad we got this sorted out.
I agree.
We are in the podcast studio at the Charlottetown Learning Library, which is very cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to give a little shout out to the Charlottetown Library and its staff for being awesome and being such a cool place for Charlottetown. It was needed.
I agree. I didn't know this place existed. I know the library was here. I just didn't know this audio room was,
One thing that I know about you, that a lot of people know about you, is that you're an avid collector and listener to music. Does listening to other people's music inspire you to write on the regular?
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would say everything that goes in comes out somehow,
Mm-hmm.
Not calculated, obviously, because I can't keep track of things like that. But when I'm digesting music or I'm hearing things, even it could just be like a phrase in somebody's song or even in a podcast I'm listening to or reading a book. If I read something or see something or hear something, it could trigger a thought, which then inevitably winds up leading me to an instrument and hopefully to a song. But it doesn't always work like that. But, the amount of music that I do listen to certainly creates like a little tornadoes inside that need to go destroy
Need to
something.
land.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is it like a combination of anything? Could it be anything? Like, could it be a phrase or a snippet of a melody or like an entire song?
I find often that melodies do appear just out of nowhere. I hear something. If I'm close to an instrument, I will immediately try to flesh it out a little bit and make some kind of recording in my phone so that I don't forget it. Because if a melody comes and I don't have any, I will sing it into a phone, but if I'm in public singing into my cell phone, it looks a little bizarre. And I'm self-conscious of that. So I try not to do it that way. But, if I'm at home and something pops into my head, I at least want to get a thought into it or into my phone so that I can revisit it when the house is quiet.
Mm-hmm. You write more songs than I think anybody else that I know. So I'm wondering, like, is the tap always on for you? Is it just a matter of finding the time to let it all out?
Sometimes it's time. Sometimes it's my environment. Right now is a fruitful period. And it's never a season or like every Tuesday or whatever. It's like it's a very random thing because I feel what's over the years I've come to understand that for me a song is going to show up one day, and when it does, I have to go back to the table every chance I get because there's likely more there. Whether it's to complete the song that showed up or to write 7 or 8 more. And that's the stage I'm in right now. I've been writing a lot. Like I think in the last 8 days, I've probably written 9 songs. And I can feel the shutdown starting. I think that I'm starting to exhaust the whatever it is. The machine, I was going to say machine, but I would say maybe it's the spirit or something. It's getting exhausted. And when I start to feel that, I shut it off and then wait for another song to come. And it could be a few months. But then once one comes, a bunch more follow. So I write in these clusters, probably about 4 or 5 times a year. They just pop off like that.
How do you do that with 2 young kids?
It's challenging for sure. I mean, I stay up late for one.
Yeah.
When the kids are eating breakfast in the morning, like some of my demos that I have on my phone definitely have snippets of Peppa Pig or Paw Patrol or whatever the hell they're watching, right? But so I put on a little innocent show for them while they're eating their breakfast, and that's when I go to work and I see how far I can get. And they're good to entertain themselves for a while. So I can usually get like a half an hour to an hour in the morning with my coffee where I can at least know if there's something there. And if there's something there, then I take what I can get at that point, make a note of it, make a note of it in my phone, whatever I need to do to remember it so that when I go back to it later, it's not completely gone.
Yeah.
So I pick away at it through the day. And then at nighttime, when the house goes quiet, that's when I kind of sink my teeth into the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, sometimes the song just appears and it takes 10 minutes. So sometimes I get a song in that first sitting in the morning. It just depends on... I do find morning is very, very good to work. I remember reading one time that Daniel Lanois keeps a little notebook by his bed. And if he wakes up dreaming or something, he'll write down some things. He sort of wakes up, I guess, and writes things down, or he finds the morning or like immediately waking to be a very inspiring time. And ever since I read that, I've paid attention to the morning.
Yeah, the morning's the shit. As soon as I started getting up at 5 a.m., I realized I get a lot done in the morning.
Yeah.
Not just writing, but all sorts of other things, I should think it's wonderful. It's a wonderful time to be alive. And not necessarily that early either, but yes, mornings, yes.
I do burn the candle at both ends for the sake of the songs, but I catch up on my sleep or my listening, I guess, when I'm not writing, and those periods can last quite a while. So I'm not writing every day. I used to try. I used to try to write something every day and finish a song a day, even if it was garbage, just to sort of get it out of the way. But I don't really do that anymore. And that's based on, my personal life changing with two youngsters around and just not having the day to sit there and try to churn something out. So I just kind of take it when it arrives.
Yeah. What did you do before we had smartphones where we could record ourselves?
I had a mini disc. I had a mini disc recorder with a microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually found it the other day, and a whole stack of mini discs. I don't think I'm going to listen to anything that's on there because it's probably not very good. But it was. I had a nostalgic feeling for the time before cell phones. Not, the mini disc aside, I have that feeling a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm also, I'm using it all the time, so I can't be slagging it off too bad.
For me, it was notebooks, and songs would come out, and I wouldn't have anything to record them on, so I would just write down the chords and lyrics, and so they would change because sometimes I couldn't remember what the melodies were, but anyway.
Well, that certainly happened to me before, for sure. Sometimes I had a good idea that went poof, and sometimes I had a bad idea that got better by that process, So you kind of have to just be open to whatever's showing up. Yeah. That's one thing that I think over the years I've tried to be okay with is just this organic opening of the door and then the natural conclusion to that process. Recognizing that it kind of took the pressure off, which made writing a bit more fun and not, I don't know. I'm also trying to write more simply as well, I feel.
Yeah.
Like just not overthinking things, write it and let it flow and then go back to it if I need to or whatever. But also keeping any chord changes or song structures fairly basic.
Yeah.
I don't need to be Tool over here, you know what I mean?
No. You've been a member of a number of tribute or cover bands over the years, and of course, your Tragically Hip tribute band seems to have been very successful. Why does this type of playing appeal to you?
Well, there's a lot of rewards to it, you know. Sometimes we play rooms to sold out rooms to 1,000 people. That feels really fun, you know. And also the music that we're playing is something that is just part of my existence. I grew up listening to it. Tragically, it was one of the first rock and roll bands that I genuinely fell in love with. And later on, I ended up getting to know Gord. And so, you know, it feels like I'm pushing the music down the line for people who want to still hear it live, and also not even still hear it live, but for the first time hear it live, because a lot of people missed them. They didn't get a chance to see them.
Yeah.
And we hear from a lot of people just how grateful they are that we're doing this. And that's enough for me to say, okay, well, this is worth doing, because I feel like it's making people happy. And it's keeping it honestly, through COVID, it kept me busy. It kept me on the road with my friends, where my original music and my solo career has largely been put in the cupboard because of children and COVID and exhaustion, that kind of thing. It's easier to get my energy up to do this show than it is to go and play 10 songs on an acoustic guitar. But it's been 10 years. It'll be 10 years next year since we've been doing that show. And I can actually hear how tired my voice is because of that show. But every time that I open my mouth to sing, it shows up, and I've rarely had an issue. So that show's actually a lot easier to sing for me than, say, a Love Junkies show.
Yeah.
There's many reasons, but it's just easier on my voice.
Huh.
Yeah.
Speaking of audience sizes, you've obviously played lots of different sizes of stages and different sizes of audiences and venues. Do you have a favorite type of audience or room to play in?
I like a really good listening room, you know, because at least half of my show kind of demands that. It's hard to play in clubs, but it can be fun also to play in clubs if I tailor the show in that direction. And festivals are fun. I will say, too, over all these years, like, I've played a lot of house concerts, and house concerts are special because they're intimate, and they're like a main line to the people who came to see you.
Yeah,
they feel
away from them.
Yeah, it's like there's an exchange that is not really possible at some of the other places, you know. So they get access to you and you get access to them. And it feels pretty rewarding. I did do a number of Home Roots tours, and they were fun, but the weird thing about those tours is that you stayed with people every night. You were staying with different people. That was exhausting.
Yeah.
But house concerts
would they expect you to kind of entertain after you've entertained already?
No, not to play music, but to chat and get to know you.
Exactly.
And that's fair. I mean, they've opened their house to you, but at the same time, you know, you're tired and your brain's ready to shut down. So it's tough to do that night after night. But I will stand by it that some of my favorite shows were on those on those tours. A lot of it, and some of it had to do with my location in Canada too. Like, it took me to Thompson, Manitoba, or way up to La Ronge in Saskatchewan, or the Pas, you know, like places I'm probably never going to go otherwise. Dawson City, Yukon was a fun show too. I played there with the Rude Mechanicals a long time ago for the Dawson City Music Festival. That was a memorable one. Yeah. You know, just being way up there, 45 minutes of darkness every day. Yeah, it was crazy. It's taken me to some pretty weird, wild places.
Well, speaking of earlier bands, it seems like you've had a good crew of fellow musicians and songwriters around you when you were growing up, like as a teenager. Did you have any music mentors at a young age, or was it just a bunch of kids figuring out everything on their own together?
Yeah, I honestly, I feel like it was mostly just the kids figuring it out on their own.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say a mentor, but encouragement came from my mom. My mom was very encouraging, always open to what I wanted to do with music. You know, a couple of times when I was in junior high school, I think she bought me an electric guitar and an amp and put me in guitar lessons at my request. And I didn't do so well. And I quit, gave it up, sold. I ended up selling the amp. Or actually, no, I think my sister put something through the speaker by accident, and that was the end of that. But I ended up selling the guitar later on for parts. But not long after that, she gave me an acoustic guitar as well at my request. And that's when it started to click, and I taught myself how to play guitar. I didn't take any more lessons. But prior to all of that, I was in piano when I was a kid, and I was really quite good. And that was also because my mother encouraged me to play music. But also my mother was instrumental in the music in the house. You know, we listened to a lot of music in the house, in the car. I always say that my parents they both gave me Chris Christopherson and Roy Orbison because they kind of shared a love for those ones. Maybe a bit of Willie Nelson too, but I got like some serious country music stuff from my dad, and I got a lot of 60s folk and Beatles and stuff from my mom.
Well, that doesn't show up in your music at all.
Yeah. So, you know, a bit of, it wouldn't be necessarily being mentored or anything, but influences for sure. Coming up in Charlottetown, when we started playing in bars, we were in high school. And I would say we were probably just by the older people who were playing because we were underage, and we had to have letters to be there. We couldn't mingle in the club or whatever. But certainly there were some people around Charlottetown, you know, that we kept our eye on and thought, ooh, they're pretty cool. They're doing cool things, you know. See, I remember walking by on Victoria Row one time and hearing John Reeder I was probably Brennan's at the time, playing Fields of Gold by Sting. And I was like, what? Who's playing Sting here? And later on, you know, now John's a buddy. But back then I was like, okay, how do you do this? How do you get up and do this?
Yeah.
And then I remember being at Brennan's as well and seeing the Dogs play, Chaz and Chris Corrigan. And just thinking that those guys got it made, you know? That's what I want to do.
Coolest.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there was some of that, but it was mostly just kids trying to figure it out, play all ages shows, you know, at the YMCA or wherever. You know, we played one of the bands, well, my high school band used to go up to Surrey all the time to play at this place called My Place.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
It was like, it was kind of like on the other side of a carpet warehouse. And, but we had a lot of great fun there, you know, so there was definitely people, enabling us, I suppose, or giving us an opportunity, but we really didn't have much mentorship. Yeah. And I didn't take music in school either. So there was no music teacher kind of pushing me.
Right.
But we figured it out.
Yep. Do you ever compare your work to other musicians?
I used to. I used to a lot, but I've realized that it's not beneficial. in any way. Because I think as I started to understand my own process or my own music better, I cared less. I cared less about what people thought about my own music.
Yeah.
And then, in turn, I started caring less about what other people's music was like compared to mine. I guess I just got more comfortable because I realized that what this is doing is I'm not making music to make money.
Yeah.
I'm making music because this is the art form that called to me and it's coming out of me naturally. There's no point in me being what I'm doing with somebody else's work because I don't know what the circumstances are over there.
Yeah.
I just know what I'm doing, and what I'm doing is almost entirely for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided one day that I would show other people. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's not a race or anything for me. I actually don't really think art should be judged or awarded.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel the same way.
So I guess just it took time to get to that. It took me time to understand what it is that or at least not understand it. I always knew what I was doing. It was just more like a acceptance that I'm not on the path for anything other than releasing and helping myself, like releasing thoughts and feelings and energy and just kind of letting something move through me.
Yep.
And doing it with words. When I started writing lyrics, I was in high school. I was not paying attention in class. My notebooks were full of lyrics. So,
yeah.
There wasn't any other kids in my class writing lyrics in their books. And I just started doing it one day and I never stopped.
Yeah, it's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately because I haven't been playing a lot of shows, and that was kind of by design because I wanted to figure out who I was writing for, and just do it for me. But there's always something missing when part of the whole process for you is disseminating, it is giving it out to other people. Like it's like I haven't been completing the loop lately.
Yeah.
And it's
maybe the loop is smaller though. Because I mean, that's how I'm looking at it now. I still put the music out and I still play shows, but I don't get bent out of shape about any of it because the results of releasing music or the results of playing shows have absolutely nothing to do with why I wrote the songs and wanted to record them in the first place.
Yeah.
I wrote them because they needed to come out through me. And I recorded them because I absolutely love being in a recording studio, and if I could just make music that way and never put it on stage or never even really share it with anybody,
I don't know. You might find
it's
some
too
people
late
slacking.
now. I think people, but I don't know. I always like releasing it, but only just because that feels like the complete loop for me.
Yeah.
Getting up on stage and reproducing it feels like another thing. It's not part of that process for me.
Yeah.
The art is all in the writing and recording.
Yeah.
And that's really the end of the deal for me. That's why I release so much music. That's why I write and record and release so much music, is because, when one album is ready to come out, I'm already either completely written the next one, or like I have now, there's one recorded.
I was going to say, how many do you have ready to go?
There's one more. There's another album behind the one that I just released.
Yeah.
And I've just looked at the list of new songs that I have that haven't been recorded, and there's over 20 there. So,
Yeah.
before I get a little further into the writing of this, whatever I'm doing now, I better start recording them.
Right.
because it costs a lot of money to record them, and I don't want them to just disappear.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it too, is I like to give them all life. I don't like to set some on shelves and, you know, it's, for me, it's more just about creating it all, less about reproducing it.
Yeah. You've produced other people's music, and you've had some really great producers for your own albums. Do you want to talk a little bit about the value of having a producer in making a record, and what you like about producing and what you look for in a producer?
Well, I'll start with the last question. What I think I look for in a producer is, I mean, I've chosen producers for different reasons, I will say right out of the gate. But one of the things that I definitely look for is, I like it when a producer is an artist as well,
Yeah.
because I feel like there will be an easier time, it'll be easier for them to
Speak
understand.
the same language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so when I worked with David Barbie in Georgia, and we've done 2 records together, he played bass on the record and produced it at the same time. And that was a cool experience. And David writes his own songs too. So, but one of the main reasons I wanted to work with him is because I loved the way the earlier Drive-By Truckers records sounded. So I just wanted the sound of that studio. I went to the studio they made those records and sort of got that essence. Later on, though, when I worked with Josh Finlayson, I grew up listening to Skydiggers, and I loved the Skydiggers sound, and I loved their songs, and I knew that he would understand where I was coming from. Same thing with Plaskett, same thing with Jim Bryson. So I'm kind of looking for somebody who's going to take the song that I've got and just give it a little bit.
Do what they do best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think it helps because they already come from a place of understanding a song, or where maybe my song came from. When it comes to producing other people or producing myself, which I've done both, I think because what I see from other producers that I hire is that inevitably they put elements of themselves into my music. So I do that with other people. It's if people like the music that I've made, which is quite varied. So if you listen to my catalog, you're not going to get one thing.
Yeah.
So, but I've worked with Tara McLean and Guardian Angel Platoon, my friend Renee. They all came to me because co-writing for the most part, which eventually turned into, you should just produce this, because they heard what I'd done on my own records that I produced. I produced a few kind of in a partnership with Adam Gallant, which is where I took all of those projects, was to Adam, because we just have a really easy time making music together. Actually, Adam produced the record that is sitting in the can, and it took all those experiments of working with Adam, where I was the producer, to say, you know what, he's going to be the producer this time.
Yeah.
So when I'm looking for somebody to produce it, I really just want somebody who's going to find the essence and take that, put a whole, like a window dressing kind of around it in their own style, and leave the song intact.
Yeah.
Plaskett, for instance, does that very well with me, but he's also taken my songs and completely torn them apart, and we've rewritten them together, made them stronger. The first time that I worked with him, we did that. And once we did that, I knew that I could trust him with anything, because he showed me that, and he showed me, I got this song. This is what it needs.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's always fun to see where it's going to go, you know. And I kind of the best thing for me about working with a producer, or what I hope people think about when they hire me, is that what I'm doing is I'm hiring somebody to take the final decision away from me,
Yeah.
because I can't make it
Yep.
most of the time. And I need somebody I trust who can.
Someone who's not in your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I've had, you know, there's been different levels of scrutiny in all of these things. Some people are like, no, that lyric's no good, or fix this. Some people don't even look at the lyrics, you know, they're all about the feel of the song. So people do it differently. And I like the fact that I've worked with so many different people, and, you know, come up with something that, like, there's a bit of a thread from the start to now. It's a progression for sure, but I'm always I'm still gonna work with producers, you know. A couple that I wouldn't mind working with still. But that's ultimately that's the thought I go in with. And any time that I do hire somebody, I have to walk into the studio and think, I hired them because they're in charge.
Yeah. You have to remind yourself that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not me. I'm not in charge anymore.
Yep.
I'm just in the band.
Yeah.
So, and it's kind of liberating. It's nice to have somebody else looking after that heavy lifting while I'm trying to perform this shit, you know?
Yep.
It also helps that to alleviate that pressure means that I can get a better result in a performance than, you know.
Yeah. There's less pressure. It's not your job anymore to make it all sound great. You just need to play your parts.
Yeah. In a similar way, I don't record a lot of demos at home, even though I can. I don't like being the engineer and the artist. I find it distracting. I feel like I don't get what I'm looking for, because I'm trying to engineer too fast just so that I can get through this process.
Right.
But if you give it to somebody else, then I don't have to worry about it, and I can just focus on what I actually want to do, which is play the song into microphones.
That's funny. I love doing the at-home recording thing and spending months with one track and adding on a friggin' shaker here and there.
I wish I had the patience for that, Drea, but I just write too many songs.
Don't have enough time.
Yeah.
Since you've written so many songs, have you noticed, like, themes coming back over and over again? Are there?
Yeah, there's definitely themes. I mean, I think the main theme is life. Like, I'm just writing about what's happening in my life. And in a lot of ways, I'm writing about how love plays a factor in life and how important it is in life. And I feel like I try to explain that a little bit or something. I used to be more cryptic with lyrics, and now I feel like I'm really just trying to put it out there straight.
Say what you mean.
Yeah. Still not completely removing poetry, you know, but because I think that's never going to go away. But and there's also certainly imagery that I reuse, you know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of words or imagery. And I think about that sometimes. I think, like, you should fucking get some more words, man. But
some of them are so good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And
But it's just a little tweak, you know. It's just the little things that keep, I don't know. I feel like I'm actually onto some really good, simple writing these days. And I have been for the last little while. Like, I don't want to be too deep or cryptic or make people think, but, you know, there's always going to be a song or two where it's like, he just took a poem and put it over music, you know, and it's going somewhere and you have to think about it. Or you don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's up to you.
Yeah. And some songs are just right there. Like the meaning is, or everything is clear. But I don't know. To go back to the Tragically Hip stuff, like as I sing Gord's lyrics, the funny thing is, as I sing those songs, I start to understand the lyrics more, or the point of the song almost.
Yep.
Some of the things that I've listened to for 30 years, and all of a sudden now, just because I'm singing it, there's a deeper understanding, which is bizarre, but it's happened a few times. I love that about, and sometimes my own lyrics reveal themselves later on, and I go,
Yeah,
oh,
I was
yeah,
going to ask if that's happened with
that's
your
what
own
that
stuff.
song's about.
Yep.
You know, I'm not completely with it every time I write something. You know, I'm just trying to dance with words, and that's, you know, that's really all it is. It comes out one way, and later on, maybe it means something else. Or I love that about words, though. You write something that you think, or it resonates one way with you, and somebody hears it, and it means a completely different thing to them. It could help them through a really hard time. You know, you didn't mean to do that, but it happened, and that's beautiful. I don't go, oh, this song's going to sound great like on a festival stage, or this song's going to sound great this way. I just write the damn song and then worry about what it feels like when we're listening to the song back through the studio speakers.
Yeah.
You know.
And when you have a catalog of, I don't know how many thousands of songs you've recorded, I don't know if it's been that many, you can decide which ones are going to work better on that big stage and what's going to work better in that small room.
100%. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely songs that I wrote thinking this is going to get produced like a rock song, and it's a folk song.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's because somebody I hired said, no, this song is not a rock song. This is the way that this one goes. I'm like, okay, let's do it.
They're the boss, so.
Exactly.
Yeah. We talk of musicians playing their instruments, not operating them. Do you still see music as a type of play, even when it is a business?
Always, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually don't really. I mean, it's only formally a business at this point. I don't like the business. I don't like what happened to it, and I don't like that I'm part of it, or that I have to be part of it. I just want, ultimately it's there. I can't change it. I have to sort of work with it. But every time that I'm playing music, it's not designed for business.
Yeah. It's play.
Yeah. It's always play. And it's almost always let the spirit run wild. Take me wherever it wants to go. Like we just did a tour. I did a tour to Ontario, and we were spending a bit of time in the morning at my buddy's place on his deck, and I had my guitar. I started playing this new song that I had. Bass player went and got his acoustic bass. Dan went to get his guitar. By like an hour later, everybody had a part for the song, except for Roger. But Roger's such an intuitive drummer.
Yeah.
That
you could just throw him on stage with it and he'd be fine.
Well, that's what we did.
Yep.
They wanted one more song, and I went, okay. How about this one that we just made up, or like that we just kind of figured out this morning?
Awesome.
Yeah, because that's what I felt compelled to do. That's a terrible business move. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You can't
to
buy
throw
your
band up there and you know, accept your challenge, because essentially I do that to myself a lot, to test myself in some way, you know. And to see how a song goes over in its infancy. Whether or not there's not really any takeaways from that for me. It's almost just like this game I play. So again, play, you know.
Yep.
There's no business to that.
Yeah. It looks like you've had a busy summer. Where can people find you performing this fall? Are you doing any local shows?
I'm playing at the One Room Schoolhouse in North Bedeck on September 12th. I'm playing the Trailside with Jeremy Fisher on September 24th. And I'm playing the Carlton in Halifax with Jeremy Fisher on the 26th. I think that's right. Yeah. And then I have a couple Fabulously Rich things to do. Got some shows in November in New Brunswick with the band, the full band. And then I'm off to the UK in January with the band as well. January and February.
The band, sweet.
Yeah, I toured so long by myself, and I know what that produces, and I'm tired of driving around by myself.
Yeah.
And I know that the music speaks a little louder or a little clearer when the bigger picture is being presented.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what my decision is from now on. I just kind of want to go out and play shows that make sense with the band. I don't really want to do too many solo shows unless I absolutely have to, at least for the time being. That's my decision. So those are the things that I'm up to for the rest of, for the next 6 months or so. And then we'll see what next year brings. I got another record to come out, and I'm doing a reissue for Hazy Sunshine, a vinyl issue of Hazy Sunshine with four bonus songs. That'll be sometime like late November or early December, I think.
Just in time for Christmas,
yeah.
Mr. I don't want to do the business side.
Yeah. Well, I think it's more just about how friggin' long it takes to manufacture vinyl. But it's okay. I'm not in a rush for it. Nobody's going, give me that record. It's just something I want to do.
Yeah,
so,
I think that's a great idea.
So I have a couple of things on the plate, but, I've spent a lot of time slowed down. Not from writing in studio, but from performing. I kind of feel a little bit invigorated to go and perform more, which is an interesting twist for me. So we'll see what that leads to.
Yeah. Where can people buy your music? Back Alley Music?
Back Alley Music in Charlottetown, yeah. Or online.
Yep.
Bandcamp. Through Bandcamp or... I did have a shop on my website, but I don't anymore. So Bandcamp's probably the best place, but I think I will put a shop back on my website for 2026.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know what websites are worth anymore, but yeah.
Don't ask me.
Yeah, I'm not. I do think, though, Substack, there's something to Substack almost as an access point to an artist. Or
there is. I agree.
One of the things that I've noticed lately is that social media is failing, and artists are looking for another way to reach people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we're going to revert to older ways. Like, we're probably going to go back to mailing lists.
Mm-hmm.
And, Substack is kind of it's an interesting choice. I don't have one yet, but I'm contemplating it. So if you can buy music through Substack, that might be something that happens too.
Yeah.
But I do feel like the noise of the internet has reached this point where nothing is actually connecting.
Yep.
So
yeah,
there's new ways for everybody coming, I believe, or old ways made new again. We'll see.
Thank goodness.
No shit.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming out. This was a great chat. And so
Thanks
good
for
to see
having
you.
me. It's great to see you too. Thank you.
I wondered what would be the worth of my words in the world if I write them and then recite them. Are they worth being heard? Just because I like them, does that mean that I should mic them and see what might unfurl? And I think of the significance of my opinions here. Is it significant to be giving them? Does anybody care? Just because I'm into this, does that mean that I should live like it? And really, do I dare? Art, I want you. make it pretty hard not to. And my heart is trying hard here to follow you, but I can't always tell if I ought to. So I pondered the point of my art in this life. If I make it, will someone take it and think that it's genuine? Would they be glad that I did, 'cause they got something good out of it? Would they leave me and be any more inspired? And I question the outcome of the outpouring